There are some watches on the market that are all about practicality, that are about kind of sliding under the radar, not garnering attention, but being practical and comfortable and reliable on wrist and enjoyable to wear. And I think the majority of us in this hobby, we gravitate toward these types of watches where we can wear them in almost any situation. They're versatile, they're accurate, they're beautiful. Sometimes they retain value and they're, so to speak, traditional. I think there is some broad appeal to that type of a watch. And then there are watches on the market that I'm kind of drawn to personally, and I don't think I'm alone in this sentiment, that are not about practicality. They're not about legibility. They're not about sliding under the radar. They're about making a statement. They're about garnering attention. They're about starting conversations with other enthusiasts. And maybe some of them, when you wear them, it makes a statement about you, about how much you've spent on that watch or what you value in terms of, just little trinkets that we wear on our wrists. They're much different. They're much more gaudy. They're much more attention grabbing than the more traditional and practical watches. And I don't think everyone gravitates towards these loud and proud, sometimes industrial looking watches that bear all the inner workings for everyone to see and to admire. Again, I don't think it doesn't carry the mass appeal of a traditional watch, but there is certainly something alluring to it that I know I'm not alone in this sentiment. Now, I think the brand that most exemplifies this bold and brash industrial eye-catching design would be Richard Mille. And, the average Richard Mille at retail price is $200,000, which, at least for me, I don't ever foresee myself being in a position where I want to spend $200,000 on one watch. Maybe that changes, but I highly doubt it. And I think the majority of you watching this video right now, you're not going to really ever be tempted to spend $200,000 on one watch, especially one that's not about practicality. And it's not about flying under the radar. It's about garnering attention and being different and being bold and being stylistic and futuristic, industrial in many instances. And so, I don't know. I think there is kind of a void in the market for this style of watch, but at a more attainable price. And I kind of yearn for that personally. And tell me if you agree with me. I'm wearing a watch today from Zenith that sort of fits the bill. In my opinion, it's kind of a hybrid between something traditional and comfortable and versatile, but also eye-grabbing and attention-grabbing and making a statement and being industrial and opening up the workings of the movement for all to admire and possibly start conversations with. And this one, I think the retail price is around $8,000, but it sells for between $5,000 and $6,000. So it's a lot more practical and attainable than, say, a Richard Mille or even, say, an Hublot at around $20,000 to $30,000, still done in exotic materials with in-house movements. Really cool statement. I don't necessarily think that there are many watch enthusiasts that are even willing to spend $20,000 on this style of watch, let alone $200,000 on this style of watch. And so I think there's a void, again, in the market, and there's a place for a watch like this. But where do you draw the line? Are you just trying to do a Richard Mille homage at an affordable price? And is that going to be successful? Will that have merit and strength behind the design? Or can you capture the imagination of the watch enthusiasts in the market and bring out something with some validity and with some original DNA, even though it still falls under the same similar concept of the bold, brash, expensive Richard Mille-esque type industrial watch? I think it's a fascinating concept. And I know there are some micro brands that are trying to work with exotic materials and exotic designs to create these statement pieces, these conversation starters at a far more affordable and attainable price segment. And today I'd like to show you one that was gifted to me from a brand that I'll be doing a giveaway of within my Patreon group, my Discord group. And it's a $200 watch. And I have it here. So let me show it to you. I got this in the mail and it's a little booklet. And when I unboxed it, or at least I took the outer packaging off, I thought I was getting a watch from this brand. This looks like they sent me their catalog. So you open it up, and this is something that I think works with the design, with being non-traditional. Again, it looks like a little booklet, and you open it up, the first page, you see a hint of what's beyond. You can see some of the open work dial, and then you open it fully, and you see the watch head, and you see the straps, and you get to take them out of the position and quickly put them together and put it on wrist. And this is, again, a $200 concept of something that's bold and industrial and different and eye-catching. And does it have a place in the market? I think it does. Even though at this stage in my collecting journey, I'm not interested in spending money on something like this. I'm interested in spending money, obviously, I've done so, with the Zenith Defy on my wrist. Maybe one day a Hublot. I know some of you won't like hearing that, but I don't think ever a Richard Mille, at least in my future. And I know everybody takes a different journey, but let's take a look at this Type Z from Ciga Design. I'm going to talk about the good. I'm going to talk about the bad. I mean, it's a $200 micro brand. There will be some good, there will be some bad. And I'd like your opinions. Do you like this concept? Do you like this idea of starting conversations and making a statement and wearing something non-traditional? And do you find allure and appeal in that? Or are you more in the traditional side where you want something classic, you want something that's legible, you want something that's practical and versatile and goes in any situation? Or do you value both? Are you kind of where I sit, where you can see the merit of both and possibly having a hybrid or different styles in your watch rotation? I'd like to hear what you think, because I don't think there is any one true answer. I think I would find some enjoyment in reading your thoughts in the comment section. So let's talk about this Type Z from Ciga Design. We have a seagull modified movement here, an ST2553JK movement modified to be an open work design. This beats at 3 Hertz. This has 40 hours of power reserve, and this will have an acceptable daily deviation rate of -15 to +30 seconds per day, which, if you think about, that's not very accurate. And in full transparency, the finished work, it's not that good. But I have to keep in mind, this is a $200 watch. This is not a $6,000 watch. This is not a $20,000 Hublot. This is not a $200,000 plus Richard Mille. So there will be realities of working at this price segment. But this is the watch. It doesn't have great legibility. It doesn't have the finishing on the macro level that a lot of us watch enthusiasts really love. But it does have some nice things like good anti-reflective treatment on a subtly curved and shaped sapphire crystal. There is a unique lasered out case void within the stainless steel case here. And they do also offer it in titanium, which I think is pretty cool for an affordable watch. We have a red anodized stem, and that ties in with the red movement clips, the red accenting on the hands, and the defined crown knurling that you can see, on the right-hand side, the 3 o'clock side of the watch. And so I look at this, and yeah, I see something fun. I see something cool. Does it have flaws? Does it have drawbacks? Does it have, areas for improvement? Absolutely. But again, it's a $200 watch. That's meant to invoke the same type of idea and style of a far more expensive bespoke type item. And it's also different in the fact of how it's presented and how it's meant to be worn. Now, I mentioned I'm not necessarily interested in this particular watch at this stage of my collecting journey as a watch enthusiast, but there would have been a time as a young college student that I would have been all about this. Wouldn't break the bank, in terms of being affordable. It's about the cost of a textbook. And I would wear it proudly to class. And I would probably have conversations with fellow students and friends and roommates and whatnot about that cool watch that Bruce wears. There would have been a time that I would have been very interested in this. So where does this fit in the market? I think this would make a great gift for a high school student or a young college student looking for something of style, something that's more off the beaten path that can start conversations, that can be non-traditional. Is it for everyone? I don't think so, but I don't think there are very many watches that are for everyone. And so I'm interested to hear your thoughts, your opinions on this Type Z, this idea, and what do you think would be the ideal price for a brand to develop something like this that you might be interested in? Would it be at 200 or 500 or 2,000 or 5,000? Or are you one of those watch enthusiasts that is interested in $20,000, $50,000, $200,000 non-practical watches that are about statements? They're not about legibility. They're not about, the traditional values, so to speak, in a watch. So I'm interested to hear what you think. Thank you for watching today. I really appreciate it. There'll be links in the description. And if you're interested in winning this watch, I do a giveaway monthly. I have a few watches this month for a giveaway, and this Ciga Design Type Z will be one of the watches that will be given to a member of my Patreon group. So links in the description. Thank you for watching today. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.